Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Robin Zimmerman. We're bringing you our show from the Pat Conroy Literary Center in downtown Beaufort. We've got a great show planned for you, so stay with us. Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm Robin Zimmerman. We're here at the Pat Conroy Literary Center with its executive director, Jonathan Haupt. Jonathan, good to see you again.
You too, Robin.
We've got a lot to talk about. We have a little bit of time today, a little extra time. So let's begin with a pretty exciting event on February the 25th that you and Holland Perriman are going to be moderating. You are her mentor. We were just talking about her. She is a junior in high school and is just, done amazing work for you.
Oh, absolutely.
And in the center, yes. Mm-hmm. So tell us about the February 25th.
We are so excited to have this opportunity. Holland and I are going to be interviewing New York Times #1 bestseller, Sara Shepard, who a lot of people would know from the Pretty Little Liars series of books, which was, of course, a TV series as well. Recently, Sara co-wrote a book called Influence with a teenage co-author, Lilia Buckingham, who has been on Instagram since she was 12. She's 17 now, so in the span of 5 years, she's amassed 1.7 million followers on Instagram. I don't know how you're doing on social media, but 1.7 million are not watching me.
That's amazing.
So Lilia, who's a big fan of Sara's, approached her about writing a mystery novel set in this world of social media influencers, these young people who have amassed seemingly instant fame and notoriety, and now have the responsibility that comes with that, but also this sort of precarious nature of what happens if things go wrong and you're in view of all of these people.
And so if someone wants to be part of that evening, is it a free evening and obviously virtual?
It is, yes. So this is in partnership with Blue Bicycle Books in Charleston, a really wonderful independent bookstore that puts on Y'all Fest, which is a young adult literature festival every year. And through this partnership, we've been able to make the event entirely free. So you can go to our Eventbrite page, patconroyliterary.eventbrite.com, sign up to join us on screen on February 25th, 7 p.m., and get to listen in on what it was like to put this book together for an adult writer and her sort of teenage mentee, as interviewed by me and my teenage mentee. I have fourth billing in this event. I'm the least famous person who's going to be on screen.
I can't believe that, Jonathan. So that's going to be, I think, a great night. Yeah, it sounds fascinating. Interesting demographics that might be being part of it.
We're discovering that too. People who may not be familiar with the Conroy Center or at all, or even with Pat Conroy, which is hard to imagine, are finding this way to this event because Sara and Lilia are so well known in circles that we're not necessarily a part of yet. So we're getting a lot of young writers and a lot of young readers to sign up.
Like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to jump forward now to March 4th. Which is Thursday, March 4th, and then there's the 5th, Friday, 6th, and then, of course, the 7th we close. But it's a big weekend. You've got some great partners involved, and, of course, it does recognize the passing of Pat Conroy, which was on March 4th. So this is the first virtual. It's your fifth your fifth March 4th event. So let's dive in and talk about who will be present and what's going on that weekend.
Absolutely. This is an event that started out really just on such a small scale with the most heartfelt of intentions to honor the day that Pat passed away as a day of teaching. And now it's grown into this 4-day event with New York Times bestsellers participating this year and some friends who've been part of this program all along. So on Thursday, we've got a free event in partnership with First Presbyterian Church here in Beaufort, and that's with the author Bruce Feiler, who's written a book called Life is in the Transitions, which was an immediate New York Times bestseller because even though it has nothing to do with the pandemic, it kind of has everything to do with the pandemic, about how to survive and thrive under challenging conditions. And that really sets the tone for the whole weekend.
Well, and I'm looking at the notes about the themes of through the weekend: social justice, conservation, education, inclusivity and storytelling. So those are interesting themes.
These are themes that permeate Pat's life, his writing, his work as a teacher, even before he ever became a writer, and that's really what we want to honor through March 4th. So we've always been able to invite speakers who are able to approach the topic of social justice in really innovative ways. And one of them is Drew Lanham, who is a conservationist, a nature writer, and he's been part of March 4th almost every single year. He's only missed 1 year, and he's coming back this year with his own mentor, just to circle back around to our earlier topic, John Lane, and this is going to be a really interesting discussion for them to have.
And so again, go on the website to register.
Yes, patconroyliterarycenter.eventbrite.com will take you to that one as well. Thursday is entirely free. $25 gets you access to all of the weekend events, 7 of them altogether. One payment gets you in and out as many of those events as you want to attend.
You know, we've talked about this before, being a virtual event this year, you're going to be able to, your reach is going to be so much greater. So are you really hoping that happens?
Beyond hoping now, we're seeing it happen, which has been our experience with so many of the virtual events. People who were familiar with March 4th but are nowhere within driving distance are now able to sign up and participate because it's virtual. And that's true of our presenters, too. It would have been a real challenge to get Bruce Feiler and Bakari Sellers to come here for an in-person March 4th. But if they can do it from the comfort of their own homes, then that opens up the possibility for them. And they've been so grateful and so gracious about being invited.
Perfect. That's going to be a wonderful, wonderful weekend. All right, so this is actually our last time in this particular location for our program because the Pat Conroy Literary Center will be moving to a new location. We have about 20 seconds left. Where are you moving?
We are moving to 601 Bladen Street, which is about 5 blocks from where we are, about halfway between Urban Market and the Black Chamber of Commerce, for those who are familiar with downtown Beaufort. And we're moving very soon. We'll reopen to the public in that new location the weekend after March 4th, so March 11th.
Are you excited to be in new digs?
Oh, absolutely.
The configuration's different than this?
It is. It'll be a very different way to tell Mr. Conroy's stories, and the new center has both a museum space and a teaching space. And because education has become such a big part of what we do, that's really vital to what the center is and is becoming.
Excellent. Thank you again, Jonathan Haupt, who is the Executive Director of the Pat Conroy Literary Center, and we'll be right back with North of the Broad. Stay with us.